Hey guys, this is Chris Fate with Cheat the Game coming back at you. I know it's been a while, I'm sorry about that. Had a little bit of downtime due to some computer issues, and you know how that goes, but we're back. We're going to start cranking the vids back out again. Hopefully I can get one out maybe once a week if you know, I really push it and everything. But all that laid aside, today we're going to be taking a look at multi-comparisons. Now, I know I have a lot of people that come here that some are just beginning, some are kind of in the immediate stages, and I do have a lot of very advanced pro hackers, even beyond me, coming here. So just know that this is for a beginner to intermediate level types that I teach right now. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at multi-comparisons, and there's lots of situations in which you would use something like that. What we're going to be looking at here is for infinite health and a one-hit kill script, and you'll see why we need to use a multi-comparison for it in just a moment. But mostly what a multi-comparison can do for you is when you're having trouble maybe finding an offset for infinite health. You know, when you have to compare yourself out versus your enemies and you just cannot find an offset to save your life. Well, a lot of times you can do a multi-comparison or a loose comparison, which I'll be covering in a later tutorial. But I just wanted to get your feet wet, and this is a more complex script. Not as complex as a lot of them can get, but you know, it's going a little step higher than the normal infinite health script we normally write. So let's just go ahead and dive right into it, and we'll just go over it step by step, okay? Now, if you guys would like to get into more real advanced script writing and lookups, my good friend Sneaky Mofo, he is actually doing a Let's Hack series now on his channel. I'll go ahead and link you down there in the description. And he's actually teaching the essence of reverse engineering, and it's really great stuff. I thoroughly recommend, if you really want to take it to the next level, to go watch those vids. I'm going to go ahead and hook you up right now. I'll put the link there in the description. Please go take a look at it. Okay, now we're in the game. Let's go ahead and attach the game to Cheat Engine. Now, in this particular game, it's kind of like the old RPG systems are, like the Final Fantasies, you know, where you have like a main area, and then when you go into battle, then you go into battle mode and have a battle screen. And what it does when you go into a battle screen, it changes health addresses. And when you come out of the battle screen, it changes health addresses again. So the only accurate way to really find the health is to go into a battle itself and look for it there. If you don't find it within that battle period, then you're going to have to do it all over again. But we know what we're looking for. We're looking for a float value. It will be exact, so it's not going to really be a problem. So let's just go ahead and get to it. Now, I apologize. I'm at the beginning where this is like a tutorial, so it'll... So let's go ahead and put our 90 in now. You see we're 90 up here, so we're searching for the... Alright. Now we're at 76. So we'll net scan it. And you see here we found it right off the bat. And that will be our health value. So what we want to do is find out what writes to this address. Well, we'll go ahead and bring up the debugger. Alright, and we got some instruction here. If you take a look, let me bring that over. It's moving a float value from XMMO into the registry of ESI at the offset of 18. ESI is the registry our health is being stored in, and it's being stored at the offset, which I also call a shelf location. If you want to think of ESI like a bookshelf, and 18 as a shelf location itself, it's storing it on the shelf of 18 in ESI, also known as an offset. So let's go ahead and show that in this disassembler. And what we want to do now, let's just go ahead and grab everybody's, or as many as we can's address. We definitely need our friends, our allies' address also. So let's go ahead and right click that opcode and find out what addresses this instruction accesses, also called a breakpoint on access. We'll put that on a float value. and we just allow them to take damage and whatnot until we can get our address, his address, and our enemy's address, so we can separate them properly. Alright, so now we got 2 enemies and 2 allies. If you look, here's me, here's 1 enemy, here's our ally, I think that's Butters, and here is the other enemy. So we're kind of interwoven together there. So let's go ahead and bring up our dissect data, and it will go ahead and place them automatically at the 0 offset of ESI. And all this structure here is bringing up the ESI offset based off that opcode. And Dartbyte programmed a feature that when it brings it up, it will automatically subtract the offset and bring it to its base value of ESI. So that means we'll need to go down to the shelf location of 18. You see right here, that's all our health values. Let me get off of it. 47, 22. And if you look right below it, those are our health caps. That's how much health all of us has. So first of all, let's go ahead and label these so we know what they are. Health. Oops, my bad. And then one right below it is the health cap. And now we can separate our guys from the enemies. Remember, this was our guy, this is our enemy, this is our ally, which is Butters, and this is our other enemy. So we want to separate the 2 enemies out, and we're just going to click on change group, new group, and I'll just label that enemies over there. Now he's got his own group, and this one here was our enemy. We're just going to put him in the enemies group also. And like I show you in many other vids, we go over infinite health a lot. You should be up to speed with me by now that we need to find a comparison, and we need to find an offset that is group different. And what group different means is that means this is a group and this is a group. We need these 2 to be the same and these 2 to be the same, but yet they need to be different from each other. And usually it's best to start off looking for 0s and 1s like you see right here. And if you look on down, you see here at 74, and we got another one here at 8C. Is I like writing several offsets down for this. Sometimes I'll bring that up in Notepad, or I'll write it in the script itself. And I go ahead and start doing that, and I go ahead and start making my script the way I want it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set our caps to always write to both of our hero and our ally. Their caps are always going to write, and for right now I'm going to have it where our enemies are always still taking damage. So that's the way we're going to write our script, and we're going to go ahead and start. We need to go ahead and find us an offset that's grouped different. We see that both of our guys here are 1 at 74, and our enemies are 0. So let's go ahead and begin our script. And like I say, I go over this step by step in lots of videos. I'll be happy to put some links for them up here in the upper right hand corner for you. If you don't understand this part of it, please go take a look at it. I go over it in full detail. Let's go ahead and hit auto assemble. We're going to go ahead and do an AOB injection. I'm just going to label this health 1, just in case we need to add some other things later on. If I want to add armor to this script or something, you never know. So it's better just go ahead and label these with numbers also, just in case you need to write health again, just so you can keep tabs of everything. Alright, also I want to do something a little different because I know I'm going to need it later. Is I'm going to make a new label, and I'm going to call it enemies. Okay, right now we need to make sure that this jumps to new men, because we're going to be using that label for our comparison. So we don't need it to jump to code. If it jumps to code, it's just going to keep subtracting our health like normal. So I need it to jump up to new men so it will read the beginning of our script. I totally screwed that one up. I'm going to have it jump up here. And we're going to go ahead and start with our CMP. And like I stated earlier, all this is the ESI registry for every single character for all these addresses. It's the ESI registry. So we know that our comparison offset is going to be an ESI also, which was that 74 right here. Our hero, our ally are both 1, and our enemies are both 0. And we're going to use that one. So I'm going to change that shelf location to the 74th shelf, which is also the offset. And I can compare it either way. It don't matter. I can use 1 there, or I can use 0. I'm going to use 0 for right now. I'm going to have it read 0. And I'm going to have it jump if equal to enemies. I know I haven't wrote anything for enemies yet. I'm getting to it. I want my enemies to do something totally different, and we want to go ahead and actually what I want to do is I want to go ahead and cut that right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have this go to enemies, and I'm going to change this to hero instead of code. Change that to hero instead of code. That way I can just, everybody can keep up with it better to know exactly what I'm doing here instead of just code. That's just universal. It don't matter what you change these to, they're just names. They're just a name of a location. Just so, as long as you change these correctly, it does not matter what they're called. You can call them anything you want. So I'm going to have it compared to 0, and then it's going to jump to enemies. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new label for enemies here. And for right now, I'm going to have that just the same, where it's subtracting health from our enemies like normal. Okay? And for our hero, I want it to, let's see here. We want it to move that cap in there, right? Remember, we want it to move the cap. Always writing our cap, because the reason we want it to write our cap, if we have a cap available, you know, when we go up levels, our health is going to keep going up to higher numbers. Our cap's going to go up. You know, later on, it may get all the way up to 999 health, for all I know. I don't know. But it allows for that increase and still writes the health as full health. See what I mean? If I just had it writing a certain amount all the time, then it's not going to keep up with it accurately. So we're going to have it write that shelf location of 1C to our hero and to our ally. So all we really need to do is just move that registry and this offset into XMMO and have XMMO write it in there. Real simple. And to use XMMO, you have to use the instruction move SS. You can't just use a regular move, you have to move SS. Alright, so we're going to put XMM0, comma, and we'll just copy that. And we're going to paste that in there, and that's our normal health. That does decrease or increase whether you get hit or whether you drink a health potion or not. But our health cap maintains a constant. It's always whatever our cap is until we go up a level. It will always rise. It'll never go below 90. So let's go ahead. For right now, I want to go ahead and assign that to the current cheat table and close it down. I'm going to bring it back up now. Okay, so we're going to take a look here. But if you notice here, I'm having it compare to 0 and jump to enemies. So now I don't really want to do that. I want it to go ahead and jump, if not equal, to hero. If it's not a 0, where was it? It's 7-4 right here. If it's not a 0, which our guy is not, and our companion is not, they're both 1, we're going to have it jump, if not equal, to hero. So it's going to bypass enemy and going to go straight down here and write our cap. And then it's just going to return back up where it left off. Okay? So let's change that to hero to make sure it does correctly. and our enemies are 0, so it's not going to jump to hero. It's just going to keep going down the list, and it's just going to write their health normally. Okay, so let's test it, make sure that we're up to speed. We're just going to label that for right now health test, and let's just see what happens. Let's go back into the game, and we should be healed the next time we're hit. Okay, you see our companion was healed. And we were healed. We didn't block or anything. And let's see if it takes our enemies down like normal. And you see we're not losing any health whatsoever. Let's go ahead and whack this guy a little bit. And you see our enemies are going down. Alright. Well, what if I wanted to say, okay, I got infinite health now. Great. What if I wanted to one-hit kill these guys? Could I do that? Well, we'd have to change the script up a little bit. So when it comes down here to our enemies, right here, instead of writing just what the new value is, we want it to write 0 in there all the time. Well, let's have it do that. Now, there's going to be a problem with this later, is where another multi-comparison is going to come into play. Alright, so what I normally do is I just find a whole string of zeros. Now you can still have it write 7, 4 into there because your enemies are 0 there, and it'll write 0 into their values because it's looking at their particular locations. But just to save all kind of bull later, just in case, because you never know, I like finding where everything is 0, and I'll just pick one. So I'm going to use 90 for right now. Okay, and we're just going to say move SS ESI plus the shelf location of 90, which we know is 0, and we want to move that into XMMO. Remember, it moves whatever's on the right into whatever on the left. Okay, always remember that. This one's always, the right side is always doing the work all the way into here. Okay, and that's where it's storing it. Now this one's doing the work and storing it into the health offset. Okay, alright, so now it should be writing 0 into our enemies every time we hit them. So let's go see if that works. And there will be a problem with this later, and I'll show you. Alright, we still got infinite health. They can whack us all day. Ain't nothing gonna happen to us. So what we want to do is we just want to go hit our enemies. And he's dead. We're still not losing health. And he's dead. See, I'm not blocking. No health's coming off. And we're just going to go ahead and Warhammer this guy. Getting tired of him. And we see that they are all dying with pretty much one hit. But what the problem is going to be is coming up. Let me save what I got, and I'll come right back to this spot. I don't want to lose what I got so far, so I'll be right back with you guys, okay? Okay, I went ahead and walked around to find some more enemies. We still have our health script on with our one-hit kill. Now let's go into another battle mode scene, okay? And let's see what the problem may be. Take a look. You see that? They died right away. No, there was no fighting. He didn't die right away. But it does happen where there's some dying right away. And a lot of times they're all dying right away. Every time you walk into a specific situation. So we know that it's writing automatically this 0 to their health values as soon as we go into the battle mode. So it's already reading and it's writing the new value into their address. You remember when I told you earlier that the addresses are changing when you go into battle mode and when you come out of battle mode? Well, it automatically writes that new value, or whatever the value is from the old address, into the new address, but it's reading the script to do it. So it's not going to work. So what we need to do is we need to tell the computer, and let me go ahead and get out of this one. And we still have infinite health. And I'm just going to go ahead and end this battle here. And he was one hit killed. And I really don't get why he didn't go down. Usually they all go down, but you know, I'm sure there's a reason. I'm going to pause this while I go find some new enemies, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do before we fight them, okay? Let me pause. Okay, we're back. We're about to get into another fight with some more enemies. So we need to go ahead and modify our script. And you also notice as you walk around, if you have the script activated, that some NPCs are also lying dead on the ground that you can't even talk to. And they do have like a health value for them also. Certain NPCs do. So we know that it changes address, it's writing a new value to the address, so that's just not going to work right off. We have to have it where they do have some type of active health going into it. You see what I'm saying? So what we need to do is we need to at least let them have at least the health of 1 when they go into it. And so we need for enemies to have a 1 in there before it ever comes to this code. So we're going to come up here under our new mem, because we know it goes straight down the line before it hits enemies, and we're going to write a new type script. And this is also on Sneaky Mopo's channel, is to push flags. You want to push a flag when you're getting ready to do a multi-comparison, especially. You want the 0 flags to stay at their regular number, whether they'll be on or off. It's usually 0 or 1. It's a Boolean value. And he goes over that step by step and explains all the nuances to it. I'm not getting into it. Please go check those out. Really great stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and push F. It's pushing the flag value, and it's saving the current. It's saving it currently, and it's giving it to us to use. And we're going to do another compare. And we're going to compare just their health. This is just enemy's health, because remember, our guys are still jumping to hero. It'll never go down to this instruction. And we want it to compare a 1. Just a number 1, 0, 1, or a float 1. We can put float 1. And I can't spell today. If it says it's a 1, if their health is a 1, we want to jump if equal to enemies. And that's why we wanted that label. We want it to jump if equal to enemies, because if they just have a 1 in there, which we're going to put in there manually actually, it's going to come in there and then write a 0. So that means we'll have to hit them for them to get that 0, instead of them just flopping over dead when the addresses are changing. So what we do is we just void out this right here, and we're just going to write our own instruction. We're just going to put move. I'm just going to copy this. I just want to move a float value of 1 in there. Right after the jump, you always want to pop your flag back. That way the 0 flag is reset back to what it was, what it saved it as. So it's just for the compare, because that could change the 0 flag, and you want it to restore all the flags back to normal. And like I say, Sneaky Mopo goes over that and explains all that, so I'm just not getting into it. Alright? But that's an important feature. Okay? Alright, and we just want to jump to return. And this is what it's doing. Okay? I'm just going to walk you through it. When it goes into a new battle scene, it's changing the addresses. automatically it's reading our script when it changes those addresses. It's comparing the 0 at the offset of 74. It sees our hero is not equal to 0, and it's jumping down here and it's automatically writing our cap to that address. Okay. It sees our enemies are 0, and it's coming down here. It's saving our flag value. Now it's comparing their health value to 1. Is there a 1 in that particular address? If it does have a 1, just the number 1, if their health equals 1, it's going to jump down here to enemies. It's going to write 0 to XMMO. XMMO is going to write 0 into their health address. Instant one-hit kill. Okay. If it's not 0, which it means it's their normal health, it's going to change that here. It's going to write that 1. It's going to jump return. Then it's going to go back through and see that it is 1 and then jump. See what I mean? That's what it's doing. So let's go ahead and test that now. Hopefully people won't flop over dead. Now I'm going to bypass all this. And as you see, nobody's dead. Let's see if it only takes a couple of hits to kill them now. It should take 2 hits to really kill them now. Okay, she went down to 1. Okay, and they all armored up. So now we're just going to do the one-hit kill scenario. We can do that with our arrow. And it screwed me. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Actually, it didn't screw me. I screwed me. So I went ahead and brought the game back up. And what I forgot to do, and I'm kind of new to this myself, so that's why you really want to be careful with these push and pop flags, because when it jumps to enemies, you're going to have to pop the flag here also. And that's an easy mistake to make, so be careful with that. So anytime you use that, you have to pop it before you begin your next instruction. Right after the jump, you want to have those. So if it don't go down here and it's actually going to jump to something, make sure that you have it where it will set the flag back to normal, and that won't happen. So hopefully that fixes that issue. Let's get back to the game, and let's just go find some enemies. Let me reset that back to cheat engine. That should be it. We should be good to go on that. So let's go and load up our game. I'm not sure where I was. I think I was about right here. Let's load that game back up. And we'll just go back over there and see if that fixed it. Alright, let's go ahead and turn our health code back on. Now we'll try this again, okay? Alright, let's try this again.
Please don't ice me, homie.
She's gone. Now, no matter how I hit her, she's just going to go down to 1. Because you got to hit them twice, remember? Whatever you take off, it's going to take them all the way down to 1. And you got to hit them again for the instant kill. But believe me, some of these characters can get really high in health, so believe me, it helps in the long run. So anytime you can hit them twice in one go, it's great. And she's gone, regardless of what her health was. And all I gotta do is just go tap her. And we have one-hit kills, and our people aren't dying. So that being said, you see now about the use of multi-compare. Sometimes you need a multi-compare because certain game functionalities are working differently, and you just need to use a multi-compare to make it the way you need it to be. And you saw how we need to do that, because when it changes those address going into battle mode, it's rewriting the health, but it's writing what you had previously set it to in the script. So unless you're just wanting to cut the script off every time you go into battle, then turn it back on, it gets very annoying. So this is a better method, and there are many other ways to do this. Absolutely, probably some easier ways and some ways to just have it go all the way to 0. I don't know, but I'm sure there are. But for right now, the lesson was about multi-comparisons. And the reason I wanted to do a multi-comparison is because we're going to be taking a look at that in another scenario later when you're unable to find offsets. And I'm going to show you how you can avoid that by using caps with multi-compare. Okay? And that'll be for like a next lesson, maybe for next week. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and close this on off now. This script works just fine. And I'll go ahead and leave that with you. Please come join us over at the Facebook channel page, and we got a bunch of people, great people over there. A lot of game hackers hang out over there. A lot of great people that can answer questions for you. Got some really knowledgeable people over there. Believe me, they're teaching me stuff over there. Okay, I mean, we got some really brilliant people over there. And I'm just so happy with everybody over there right now. It's just, we've just come like a close-knit family almost, and it's really cool. It's Cheat the Game. As you see, Facebook/groups, Cheat the Game. I'll put the link for you in the description. We have about 86 people in there right now. A bunch of really good guys in here. We'd love to have you also. And also, I want you to check out my pal Binomi. He hacks Android games. He also shows you ways you can hack into your old Xbox games. He's got a bunch of stuff on there. He got a lot of nifty tricks and tips, all kind of things that you can do on the net, that you can do on your games, that you can do on your Android. He's just got a whole variety of stuff as well. So please join him over there. If you don't mind, also got a new guy that is coming into. He hacks Facebook games. His name is Ken. He goes by Ken MC. Please join him over at his YouTube channel. I'll put all these links for you in the description as well. All my pals, go check them out over at guidedhacking.com. That's guidedhacking.com. Alright, we're out of here. You guys have a great one. You take care. Keep on hacking. Most importantly, please enjoy yourself. That's really what it's all about. You cheat the game, fellas, because believe me, it doesn't mind cheating you. Take care now.